Dani, I'm so excited to chat with you today. We've already tried to start talking about a million different things off mic. But let's kick things off with, if someone was going to take just one thing away from today, what would that be?
Ooh, one thing away from today. I really love for people to understand, like if we're going to go down the lymphatic drainage route, I love to educate my clients because I think at the moment lymphatic drainage is having a moment, which is great for me. But I think there is a little bit of misinformation about what it can do. Just things like weight loss and contouring and all of that. I think out there in the TikTok world, there's definitely a little bit of misinformation. And it really is. With the lymphatic drainage, I would love to be able to educate our viewers or listeners on the fact that it is an inside-out journey, I'm using the word journey already, rather than it just being about looks and da-da-da-da. So if they can get an understanding of the lymphatic system and how the detox pathways work, then for me, I'm happy.
You're happy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start at the beginning because you were a former radio presenter.
Yes.
Turned healer. That is quite the pivot, if you will.
Please
tell us about that.
So I worked in media for 13 years. So essentially I was doing kind of what you were doing. And I always describe my media career as like, as you probably would know, high highs, low lows. But it always felt like I was walking through mud. Like it always just was hard work for me. I always felt like I was fighting against myself. And look, I loved it. It was creative. But the thing is, I was shutting down a very big part of myself. I've always been a very sensitive soul. I've always had like dreams that would come true, or I'd have like little visions in the moment. And I've always been like so intuitive. But as I was working in media, I kind of went into this real masculine of like, do, go, get, on all the time. What's the next step? How do I get to the next level? And really found myself losing that part of me completely. I'd gotten to this point in my life where I was presenting my own breakfast radio show. I was like, in my mind, I had created this life that I saw as successful, but I was desperately unhappy. And I was a nightmare at work and I could barely get out of bed. And I remember calling my best friend one day and saying, what happened to that 20-year-old that like loved people and started doing this job because I wanted to ask people questions and get to know them and tune into them? What happened to that girl? Because right now it's just work. How much am I making? What's the next step? Where can I get to? And then I had massive burnout and completely went the other way. So I went all eat, pray, love.
Oh, I love that.
I just was like, I'm going to figure out where all of this went wrong. And I did everything. I studied counseling, became a yoga teacher, was like in Bali doing these ones all the time. And I kind of started to realize, especially as I got into massage, that I was like, oh, I've been living from here up. So in the media industry, you've got to be a strong woman, right? Like you got to have a thick skin. Absolutely. So there wasn't any space for listening to my body, for letting myself rest. I used to feel guilty for resting, you know.
We also don't have time to rest because the thing is that we're also very conscious of, you rest for a minute, someone else will swoop right in. And that you're told that constantly as well.
Yes, and that nervous system is on. And that whole thing of, well, if you aren't going to go above and beyond, we'll just find someone else to replace you. Like,
yeah, and you know what? They'd probably do it for 20K less. So what are you bringing here?
So I went completely the other way, went completely woo-woo, as they say. But in that process, I really found myself again. I'm actually more of a nurturer. Like as much as I love to have a chat and I love to express myself and I love to talk, I actually kind of realized I'm a bit of an introverted extrovert. So my nervous system was just tired. Like I'm not really built to be on show all the time. There are some people that have that level of energy, but I didn't know that about myself. And then as I started working in the industry that I work now as a lymphatic drainage therapist and connecting to people's bodies and connecting to their energies and really bringing everything in, it's like these gifts that I kind of had just
turned on
in the most intense ways. And I was a bit like, what's going on here? Am I making this up? Like, da-da-da-da. And then I started asking clients. I started saying, hey, during that massage, this came up for me. Does that make sense for you? And they're like, how do you know that? And I was like, I don't know. And so I say to people, She So Well has been like an 8-year in the making kind of business.
So it was media for 13 years and now 8 years of like
of
gunning
self-discovery. And I mean, She So Well hasn't been around for 8 years. Like, it only came to like life 100% 2 years ago. But prior to that,
But the work you were doing to build it, given that you're doing so much energetically, being an introverted extrovert, you're taking a lot on when if you're reading people while you're giving them that sort of a massage, you're taking on a lot of their trauma, and if they're not feeling great energetically, you're sort of absorbing that. Like, it would be very hard, I think, at the end of a big day for you to just release it all.
Well, I have really good practices for that. So, I mean, to a lot of people, this is going to sound super woo-woo, but it
Guys,
works.
let's just preface it at this top of the episode. We're getting woo-woo and we're okay with that.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just dive into woo-woo, okay?
So
I've told you up front, I was like, I'm not woo-woo, but I've got an energy healer in Bali. So I absolutely am.
I was like, everyone's woo-woo.
We're all secretly woo-woo. We just don't want to be the lotus birther.
Exactly.
Go Google that if you don't know what it is.
It's full on. I've got a lot of practices that I do. So I do absolutely protect my energy. I do a lot of energy cleansing. I also cleanse sometimes, like in the room, I'll be with a client and oh no, I'm like, we've gone too far. They have released a lot. It's heavy in here. And if I don't move this now, then it's going to like infiltrate, for lack of a better word. So I'm very good at protecting myself energetically before I even start. I'll protect the space, I'll protect myself, protect my energy, and I do a cleanse.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's talk about lymphatic drainage.
Yes.
You know, Lizzo has recently credited it as her wellness secret, but I don't know if people actually know what's happening. Please break it down for us. Like, what is going on in our bodies during a treatment and what does it do? Because I think there are also different sorts. Like, my mum has to get lymphatic massages because she had cancer treatment so long ago that I don't really, something about lymphedema, so she needs monthly, but she's described it as boring.
Yeah.
She's like, it's just not boring, but she's like, it's not like a nice massage that you sort of walk away from feeling really rejuvenated. It's something she'll just happily chat the whole time. It's just a lot of sweeping.
Yes. Okay. So let's start with the lymphatic system. Okay. So
what is it? Where is it?
Yeah. So a lot of my clients walk in and they're like, oh my God, I went on Instagram and like, you can get skinnier with lymphatic drainage. And I'm like, maybe. I was like, do you know the lymphatic system? And they're like, not really. So basically I try to create a visual for them. So you know how we've got veins in our bodies and that carry blood? I want you to imagine that there's another set of veins through your whole body. They're actually vessels, but we'll call them veins for now. We've got a whole other set of veins, and rather than carrying blood, they carry lymph fluid. Now, that lymph fluid is carrying all the extra toxins that we are inundated with every day, from things like deodorant, makeup, pesticide in our food, alcohol, pollution in the air. We're taking all of that in.
Is that
cortisol?
Yep.
Hormones for women because we're on a 28-day cycle. So all of those things, it goes into that lymph fluid, okay? And then those veins / vessels, so those veins will take that lymph fluid and send it to your major lymph nodes. Your lymph nodes are like the filtration system of your body. So it'll take those dirty lymph, I guess, and it actually filters it out and then puts it back in the body as clean lymph, right? So my job when you're on my massage table is to follow those veins, follow them and push that lymph fluid to the lymph nodes for detoxification.
Can you explain where our lymph nodes are?
So
I know we've got them in our neck, right?
Yeah, so we've got it's got kind of lymph nodes all over the body, but the major ones are neck, chest, armpits, stomach area. There's lots of lymph nodes just there. That's why with lymphatic drainage massage, we really massage the stomach. Then you've got major lymph nodes here, just in between the legs. They're the major ones, but then we've got little ones kind of on the back and stuff. So in lymphatic drainage massage therapy, so I wake up those lymph nodes, send the lymph fluid, and then we push them out. And the reason why it's so important to do that is because, so our veins that carry blood, they have the heart that pumps the blood. The lymphatic system doesn't actually have a pump. It kind of just hangs. So the only way to get it really moving optimally is either through breath work, movement, or manual lymphatic massage. Now, you're asking about the difference. So your mum has had cancer. Sorry to hear that, by the way.
She's okay.
And she's such a survivor. Yay. So good. So that style of of lymphatic drainage is a bit different to what I do. So I do the Brazilian style. Her style is from the original lymphatic drainage massage style created by Voda. So it is very much for people that have been unwell. And it is literally just a light touch just to wake up the lymph nodes and to help get things moving. The reason why the Brazilian lymphatic drainage massage is so much more intense, I guess, is because we're also really looking at contouring the body.
Okay.
And really getting rid of like that toxic fluid in certain spots of our bodies that can kind of make us look a little bit puffy, or you lose that shape. You know how like sometimes you'll be like, man, I'm working out, I'm eating well, and like there's like that 1 week of the month when you're ovulating where you're like, damn, I'm hot. God, I look good. Look at this face. And then there's that 2 weeks where you're like premenstrual and then menstrual where you're like, what happened to me? That's all fluid. And so I guess with the Brazilian lymphatic drainage style, we're really working on pushing that out. So there's like the wellness health benefit, but then there's also the beauty benefit of that as well.
And I think that, I mean, this is a very old practice, but for, you know, like often people hear about this sort of thing in, oh, no, our body knows how to detoxify itself. And can we talk for a minute about that our endocrine system and our toxins, we've never been exposed to so many. Like we've never been exposed to so much cortisol. We've never been exposed to so many dopamine hits. We've never been exposed to so many pesticides and everything that we're consuming. I mean, I'm not a clean eater by any regard, but I think that anyone with half a brain can recognize that we're not eating the way that our ancestors did.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're absorbing so much more toxic matter. So we probably do need a little bit of help.
We do. And that's what I say to a lot of my clients. Like, you may not have like a lymphatic issue, but you are inundated.
So you can
with
feel
toxins every day. I can feel it. I can see it. I can see when my clients are dehydrated. I can see the difference straight away once we've switched on the lymphatic system. Another part of the lymphatic drainage style that I do is nervous system regulation. We mentioned earlier on high cortisol and all of those things cause bloating in the body. We're body-centered. We've got intuition. We've got stomachs that house souls, you know, like it's a big deal. It's a big responsibility. And I just feel like nowadays that there isn't a respect for that softness that women deserve and also bring to the world. And I think that's why we're all freaking exhausted. Yeah. And perimenopause is starting so much younger. And anyway, I'm not going to get into perimenopause because like
that's like a
whole other podcast.
I could not agree with you more though. So you weave in Reiki, which that's the word that I was looking for with my chiropractor.
He does Reiki as well.
Yes.
Amazing.
So can you explain to anyone that's playing along at home that might not know what that is?
Yeah.
Like, how are you incorporating that into this Brazilian lymphatic drainage with soul, and like what is happening there?
So let me share with you first of all how the energy work and Reiki came into the picture. So as I was saying earlier, when I started doing my massages, I started realizing that as I was massaging my clients, I was picking up on like, I'd either get a feeling in my gut, or I'd get like a vision of something, or I'd feel like, okay, I really need to concentrate on this area of the body. There's a lot of like pent up energy here. And I found myself saying to my clients who would finish, and I'll give you a real example. I had one client, and at the end I said, something came up for me during the massage, like, are you comfortable if I talk to you about it? Because obviously I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. She's like, yeah. And I was like, look, when I was massaging around your chest, I felt like there was a tightness in my throat straight away. And the messaging that I got is that it's safe for you to ask for what you want. I feel like there's a conversation that you are too scared to have, and I think you can have that conversation. And this was just kind of coming. I was like, you're an amazing, good human, and you deserve to also receive. In my head, I was like, shit, should I be saying this? Da-da-da-da-da. And then she started crying and then shared to me about a conversation that she'd been wanting to have with her husband for a very long time, and da-da-da-da-da. And so I started realizing, okay, so something's going on here. And then I started getting that a lot, and I just started kind of telling my clients about it. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, great, Dani, you're getting this information, you're telling your clients, now what? Like, you're just going to let them walk out of here going, oh, so she just said that, and what? And I remember thinking, God, I wish there was a way where I could, so I'm doing the physical work, but I'd love to be able to just get in there and help. But it wasn't quite help. But I wanted to find a way where I could energetically feed that as well. So I'm able to physically feed their body and give it what it needs. But I felt like when I was feeling these energetic shifts or these lower energetic areas in the body, I was like, how do I wake that up for them?
And sometimes it actually is just being told.
Yes, and that too. And sometimes that can spur something. But I'm also very conscious of sometimes being told if it's not the right timing, if someone's not ready to hear it, it's not my right.
But you can feel it though.
Yeah,
if
I
they
can
are.
feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And I always ask for permission. So that's kind of where it started with the energy work. And I'd always heard about Reiki and had Reiki done to me before, but I was kind of a bit funny with the Reiki thing because my understanding at the time was that when you did Reiki, and this is not how it is, by the way, but this was my old understanding, was you use your energy and then your energy goes into the other person and then you heal the person. And that just always felt a bit icky to me, a bit like, I don't want someone in my energy.
No, yeah.
So then...
It's kind of like doing a Ouija board, but like letting a bad spirit in.
So then I did the Reiki course where it's just you learn how to do Reiki on yourself. I thought that's a good step in. It literally just is. I've been now trained in a process where I connect to Reiki energy, which is like a higher level life force energy. It comes through me and then I literally just pass it on to you. And it is the most gentle, beautiful, calming experience. My clients walk out and they're like, I don't know what you did. And it's, to me, it's so, like, when I talk about Reiki, like my little heart, like I could actually cry because it's, to me, it's just so, it's such a beautiful experience. There's so much love in it. There's so much joy and it's got nothing to do with my energy. I actually separate my energy. I protect myself. I separate your energy. I protect you. And it's literally just this beautiful, like, think of Wi-Fi. It's like this really good Wi-Fi. Like we can't see Wi-Fi, but we know that somehow
it exists. Yeah.
Somehow my phone is now connected to my TV and it's working. You know, it's kind of like that. And then the next level of that is I'll go to like different energy centers in your body and I'll just take it. Like, let's say you've been going through a breakup or you've had a fight with a friend or your heart's just been overworked lately. Your heart might be at a 4 out of 10. I come in with some yummy Reiki energy and we can take it up to a 7. Because we are all energetic beings. You know, like have you ever walked into a room and you've just met someone, you're like,
fuck yeah, I love them. Yeah.
Vibe this person. And then someone else will walk in and you're like,
dear Lord, never again.
You're like, oh my God, I just feel that's...
Or you have a friend that
energy.
you, every single time you meet up with them, you're like, why?
Yes.
Like they're a bit of a drain.
Yes.
You never want to be a drain. So when your client, like when you think of your clients, are they coming to you mainly for aesthetics and then sort of seeing you regularly for more of the emotional energy stuff?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? Or are they coming to you because they need to be healed?
So they definitely come in for the lymphatic drainage is the big one, like the aesthetics.
How big of a change are we talking can happen?
Look, it just depends. Like,
well, what's
I've
the
had
most
clients,
like, whoa.
Okay, I'll give you like the biggest changes and I'll give you the smallest changes. So I have had a client come in. Granted, she was taking some medication at the time, so she was doing a few things that she probably had more inflammation than the average person. After our second session, she dropped pretty much 2 dress sizes. But what's really interesting is on the scales, the weight kind of stayed the same, but she'd lost so much inflammation that close. So every time she'd come and see me, she'd be like, look, see, I'm losing weight. And I don't promote weight loss because lymphatic drainage doesn't kill fat cells. Yeah. So you can't promote weight loss. But what it does do is it removes that buildup and that waste from your body that you can start to lose centimeters. You start to look smaller. The other thing that I think really makes my clients stay, and I've heard it over and over again, is they'll come, they'll experience it, and they'll go, what the fuck did you just do? Like, they're like, I've never, what? You know, they just didn't know what to expect because I do a bit of breath work. I do the energy work. I do all of that. And the thing that keeps them coming back is they realize I actually need this moment for me. and they know
Carving out that time.
Yeah, and they know that they're going to walk out of there. And I do pride myself in this. You know when you've hung out with a friend and your cup is just so bloody full? You are just
you're
so
that
happy.
friend.
I feel like my clients, when they leave, they feel like that. They're
That
like,
is a beautiful person to be, though. That is so special.
Well, it's also the work.
Yeah, but like,
and I love it. Like,
you can walk out of a massage and be like, that was a nice massage, but you can't remember anything about the therapist. So I think that's really lovely.
So they also stick around for that because they get to like have that full nervous system regulation, have that moment to themselves, and know that they're just being completely loved,
nurtured.
Yeah.
Which a lot of us want but don't make time for or don't know how to ask for.
Yeah.
What's the connection between your skin? I mean, it kind of makes sense if everything that you've explained so far, but that lymphatic drainage and then glowing.
The glow. So the glow is definitely because your system is moving optimally again. So you're able to move things out of your system. It actually speeds up metabolism as well. Like I'll have girls come in and they'll be like, I finished that massage and I was so goddamn hungry.
Yeah.
I'm also working
like
on
a beach swim.
Yeah.
Now you finish a beach swim and it's just kick-started your metabolism. You're starving.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly what it's like. I love that.
Why is that a thing? Like, I've never once not been for an ocean swim and thought, oh, I'm full. Like, I'm starving.
It's so true. It's so true. I love that. I'm going to think of you now every time I go for a swim.
Every time you go for a swim and you're hungry, you'll be like, oh, Kel.
Yeah, so the glow effect, yeah, we've talked about it, I guess, already. But yeah, it's the moving of that lymph fluid, speeding up the metabolism, and also giving your body that break. I had a client in, she was wearing an Eora ring. And
What's an Eora ring?
You know the Eora rings, the one that like you put them on and they
I was thinking of aura, but like no, like I was still thinking in woo woo. Okay, but no, an Eora ring is like
we're back to Wi-Fi energy.
Yeah. Aura is actually Wi-Fi. Like it tells you how many hours you've slept and like your heart rate and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, so it's exactly. So she had
your data.
Exactly. So we are back on real Wi-Fi, not so she sent me a picture actually of her stats of her Eora ring during the massage, and for the second half she was actually in deep sleep for like I think it was like 18 and a half minutes, and I was like, how are you not going to glow after that?
Yeah,
like you're going to glow.
Yeah,
because sometimes you're not even getting deep sleep in your 6 hours,
actual
7 hours. Yes.
Can we talk about tarot? Yeah, so how did that start, that you started doing the tarot card readings with the Reiki, with the lymphatic drainage? I mean, I just think it sounds like a really beautiful experience and place to be in your therapy room. Like,
I mean, look, I've always been a bit of a creative soul, and I just was like, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. But it actually started off, the plan was literally just to pull one card, to get like the clients to pull one card, look at the card, pick up on the energy of the card, and potentially use that to decipher which aromatherapy oil we're going to use for the massage. Simple. That's all it was supposed to be. But no, that's not.
Now, if someone pulls out the tarot cards, though, you want like, all right, what are they saying?
Oh.
Go on. Am I dying soon? Yes or no?
Yeah. And so the card would come out, and then we'd both be like, oh, should we pull one more? And I'd be like, okay, let's pull one more. And then suddenly half an hour's gone by, and I'm like, oh my God, Dani, you can't keep doing this every time. Like, you're not even getting paid for this time. And it would end up being this big conversation. And then there'd be tears, and then there'd be this, and then there'd be that. And sometimes there's, none of that makes sense, honey. And I'm like, oh, well, just, I'm not that great today, whatever. And so it became that. And then I started getting people messaging me going, hey, can I come in for a reading? And I was like, I'm not a freaking tarot reader. And then I just kept getting request after request. And I remember saying to my best friend, I was like, I think my ego is talking here. This is ego. Like, I'm just embarrassed to be the tarot reader, but I'm going to do it. People are asking for it.
And if you're feeling that, if you're getting that intuition about different things.
Look, when my clients come now, I basically, the first thing that I premise the reading with is I say I don't consider myself a psychic, but what I do know really well are the tarot cards. I've been learning since I was like literally 13. Right? And now as I'm working more with the cards, I know what I feel from the cards. So I'll give you an example. So I had a client come in and I pulled the King of Cups and the Three of Swords, which the Three of Swords is generally heartbreak. And the King of Cups is generally like someone that's ready for a relationship or da-da-da-da-da. So you put those two together, you think breakup. You know, you've got the King of Cups and you've got the heartbreak card. And I remember looking at the card and looking at her and looking at the card and looking at her and I was like, this girl is not going through a breakup. Absolutely not. I just intuitively knew that. I was like, there's something more here. So then I pulled another card and it was the marriage card. And I was like, she's not getting married. And I'm like, these are the conversations I'm having with like, God knows who in my head. I'm like, she's not. I was like, just give me a minute. And then I remember thinking, I'm just going to go with it. And I just looked at her and I said to her, who's the man in your life? And in my head, I was like, I'm getting dad. But I was kind of too scared to say it. And I was like, who's the man in your life with the heart problem? And she just started bawling her eyes out. And then I said, look, I'm just going to say it. Don't worry. He will walk you down the aisle. And she was like, that was the only reason why I came here. That's the only message that I wanted. And I was like, cool. I often will have clients come in and it becomes a counselling session.
100%. I think that what you do is counselling, really, at its like a beautiful therapy session.
Yeah.
That honestly, like, I'd much rather pay for that than to talk to someone for an hour.
And also, you don't want to limit people's experiences. So I'm very careful with, like, when I think about the experience that I want to create for my clients, I'm like, I want them to walk out of this room and I want their vision of their life to go from here to here. And I do believe that sometimes saying, yes, that's going to happen is going to limit them. And, you know, when love things do come up, I'm very careful. And I'm like, look, if you walk out of here and you meet a man in 5 minutes, please don't think that he's not the one just because I'm saying it's in 6 months. It could well and truly be, I'm just reading the cards. I'm very, like, you just have to be a bit careful. You don't want to, like, limit people's experiences. You want people to think that life is my freaking oyster.
And I had a really beautiful reading with someone once when I was feeling like I was pregnant and I was a little bit lost and it was in the middle of COVID. And she said, you're very fertile. I see a lot of children in your future.
Oh, wow.
And I just went, like, I obviously just did something that made her go. And then she was like, but I want you to know that it's still, like, I'm not telling you that you're going to have lots of children.
Yeah.
That's still only if you want lots of children.
Yeah.
Basically, just to make sure you're careful with contraception.
Yes. I literally had that reading 2 weeks ago. She's actually become a friend now. And I said to her, look, I don't know what the situation is with the person that you're with, but if you don't want to get pregnant right now,
be
honey,
careful.
Be careful.
And I just thought that was such a good way to look at anything to do with readings and intuition and psychic abilities. It's not, they're not predicting your future. They're telling you, it's like guiding you in a way. It's like therapy, really.
Yeah, and I do believe that there is a language of the universe, and I'm not even going to apologize for sounding rude. There is another language that we live within, and this is just another way of, if a message is supposed to come through for you, it will come through, and it always does.
Yeah. So basically, I think that if you're going to go and get a beautiful lymphatic draining massage, you're going to walk out not just physically more glowy, but your energy is going to be glowing more.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that.
Yeah, well, that's the experience that my clients seem to have and that I like to try and create.
This has just been such a beautiful chat and something a little bit different, but at the core, like, it's all sort of intertwined in... We always say, like, You Beauty, yes, it's a podcast about beauty, but it's about self-care, and which I feel like I sound very earnest saying that, but I really do, like, for me, doing my skincare and my makeup and going and getting a massage, it's all self-care to me, and I think this is just an extension of that.
Yeah.
So it's been so beautiful having you here, Dani.
Oh my
and
God.
I could literally talk to you all day about this stuff.
Thank you so much for having me, because what I'm doing, it is a little bit different, you know, it is, and it's kind of...
It's interesting, though. Everyone that's listening at home is going to be like, this is different. It's cool.
But I love it. And thank you for embracing it, for embracing the difference of She's So Well.
I've admitted it. I'm closeted woo-woo that isn't so closeted.
Aren't we all?